My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome back to another chapter of the Jeshua channelings. We are nearing the end. This is by Pamela Kribbe. And for those of you that are following along with me, we are on page 241, The Children of the New Era. Now, if you're new to the channel and you're just finding this video, this is the end of this book. And you will find all the other chapters in a playlist beginning with the preface here on the channel. So we begin. The Children of the New Era. Dear friends, I bid you a cordial welcome. My energy flows among you and is discernible to you as the energy of home, a home that you are moving towards and a source that you are coming from. My energy is not merely the energy of one man who lived on Earth 2,000 years ago. I represent a source energy in which you all take part and in which your higher selves are present as one, as a group energy. And that's quite interesting to me because I feel like that's how we communicate with each other is up here through the higher levels of our beings sometimes. Not all the times, but sometimes. On this level of oneness, there is an oversoul, which you may call the Christ energy, and which covers us all like an umbrella, including me, Jeshua. It is from this energy that we bring messages to you on earth and hold up a mirror to you when you have temporarily lost yourself and cannot find the way. It is the energy of your own higher self, your soul family, your oversoul that we wish to show you. We remind you of the source that you descend from and from which your deepest inspiration stems. The inspiration that joins you together has to do with bringing light on earth. It has to do with the arrival of the new era. Your incarnation here and now on earth is deeply connected with the transitional times in which you live. Now what I wish to speak of today is the arrival of a new generation of children on earth. These children show other qualities than you are accustomed to from the past. How has this come about? Where does this phenomenon come from? For that, I have to take you back in time and show you how you have been the pioneers of the new wave of technology that these children are bringing in. And I've said that for a long time, actually, before I ever found this book, that the new children will not be so easily programmed and conditioned in the ways in which we programmed and conditioned each other. I've seen that, I've witnessed it, and I think each progressive generation is a little less susceptible than the last, if that makes any sense. There have been times on earth when the energy was heavy and tight. Everything was prescribed by rules and regulations with little room for imagination and the intuitive powers which bring along a loving and playful energy. For ages, this heavy energy took possession of the earth. I was a pioneer in breaking the hold of this suffocating energy and bringing light to a dark reality in which power and oppression were prevailing. There was oppression of the imagination, the freedom to express oneself, the energy of the heart. In the course of this history, the Second World War became a turning point. In the wake of this wartime, a new era and time spirit was born, which is familiar to you as the Revolution of the 60s. It also meant a spiritual revolution. The energy of the heart was reborn at that time, and although The energy of the 60s was to some extent free floating and naive. It nevertheless constituted a breakthrough. It heralded a new and vibrant energy. All of you who were born during the period around and after the Second World War have been pioneers in the new era. It is from a spiritual foundation created by you that a new generation of children has now appeared, who recognize the song of your heart and carry it further. I would like to speak about these children now. These children come in with an energy that is purer and higher than ever. By, quote, higher, I mean that they are able to keep more of their soul energy intact as they arrive on Earth. Another way of putting this is to say that the veil between your material reality and the spiritual realm has become thinner because of the pioneering work that you and many others have done during the decades after the Second World War. In those days, a lot was laid open. Traditional authorities were called into question. New concepts came to the surface and influenced the collective consciousness of humanity worldwide. At first sight, this led to confusion and chaos. But the energy of the heart always leads to confusion and chaos in the eyes of those who love rules and structures and who look up to an unfaltering authority to hear the truth. Those days are gone. You are all aspiring to feel and found the energy of truth and clarity within yourself. This inner work paves the way for a new era on Earth. You all have one foot in the old era and one foot in the new. The transition to the new is a long, gradual transformation. The children who are being born now are already standing within the new era more than you ever have done. Nonetheless, there is an important connection and recognition between you and them. To clarify this, let me say some more about the various groups of children that are now entering the earth. All of you who are present here and all who feel particularly drawn to this message are lightworker souls. I have talked about the characteristics of lightworker souls and their history throughout the ages in channelings past. So in parentheses, see the Lightworker series, which is some of the more previous chapters here, and you'll find them in the playlist. You are old and bring in the wisdom and experience of many, many lifetimes. Because of all that you went through, you have developed a sensitivity in your soul which makes you wise and compassionate, but vulnerable as well. Many times you felt you were, quote, different and did not fit in so well with your social environment, especially in times when order, discipline, and repression of the feelings were the normal way. This caused you deep suffering and it injured your feeling centers. But the sensitivity that is characteristic of you, you can now clearly see reflected in the eyes of the Lightworker children that are being born on Earth. This is the first group of, quote, New Age children I would like to distinguish. They are Lightworker souls who are basically the same as you, but they enter through a different gate or veil on Earth. They are less burdened with the energy of the old era, like you were. You had to deal with old educational methods, well-meaning but often stifling methods of raising children, which often repressed the child's original sense of wonder, imagination, and self-esteem. All that has been changing over the past decades. There is more freedom, more room for feeling, more understanding of the importance of the emotions, more respect for the individual nature of each person. The light worker souls that are now entering are thus differently received in a different energy, and this enables them to bring more of their soul energy and their cosmic light through the veil. Their sensitivity is therefore clearly visible, and it can also cause imbalances, but I will go into that further below. I would like to distinguish a second group of, quote, New Age children. They are the earth souls. They do not historically belong to the family of lightworker souls that we have been speaking of before. And it does say to see the Lightworker series for the distinction between Lightworker souls and Earth souls, which we did cover in a previous chapter here. Their development is deeply intertwined with the evolvement of life on Earth. They are now, as a group, going through the early stages of letting go of ego-based consciousness and moving towards a heart-based consciousness. The earth souls who have entered in recent times display a greater sensitivity. This is because of their own inner development, but also because the veil is thinning and there is more room for emotional self-expression. They are also part of the new wave of energy that is now coming in through the children. Then there is a third group I wish to distinguish. They are currently called the crystal children by your spiritual literature. These children are relatively new on Earth. They have not spent many lifetimes here, although they have a rich experience with other dimensions or planes of existence. They have incarnated there in other forms than the human body. You might also call them the star children. Their energy is often dreamy, and they are also characterized by a great sensitivity. In their case, there may also be physical symptoms like food allergies or skin problems, which have to do with difficulties in getting accustomed to the energy of Earth. The density and crudeness of material reality. These newcomers on Earth bring along a very refined ethereal energy, and they need ample protection and safety to be able to ground themselves fully. We have now named three groups of children who are all children of the New Age. Thus, we might say that all children incarnating presently are part of the new era according to their own nature. You who are hearing and reading this are especially acquainted with the Lightworker souls because you are one yourself. All of you are deeply inspired to bring light onto Earth, and at the same time, you carry within old wounds of rejection and loneliness. Because of this, it is not always easy for you to feel a loving and safe connection with the Earth. But it is this very point that is of utmost importance in helping the new children ground their energy and lead fulfilling lives. Experiencing a loving connection to Earth reality yourself is a precondition for being able to coach and support them and to offer them the emotional safety they need. I will now mention some of these problems, some of the problems these children might meet, and what you can do about it whenever you are in touch with them as a parent, teacher, or therapist. Some of you feel called to work with them, and this is very appropriate since you are especially adept at recognizing their underlying motives and inspirations. You recognize aspects of them that were repressed and smothered in you during your childhood or later on. This is why encountering these children can affect you at a deep emotional level for you see in them a reflection of yourself, your own love, your originality, and also your pain. Indeed, these children may just as well experience the pain of not feeling welcome on earth. Even if times have changed, it is not self-evident that they will find forms of manifestation that match their vibration and level of consciousness. This has several reasons. The first is that their energy or vibration does not yet match the energy of Earth and of the collective human consciousness. They are ahead of their time. This lack of understanding between the old and the new is familiar to you from your own experience. There is a knowingness and a heartfelt wisdom in you, the older generation, that has not been fitting very well into your societal reality. It goes against some deep-seated traditional values and notions and has been met with skepticism and distrust. The children have to deal with this resistance too, for it is not yet gone. Moreover, and this is the second reason, material reality on earth has a slowness to it because of its density. Dreams and desires do not manifest quickly or easily. To truly realize your deepest inspiration, you have to be able to connect yourself to the earth at all levels: emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual. Only then can your energy find fertile ground, and only then can the seeds of your soul sprout and flourish. For the children of the new era, it will be of great importance that they are able to ground themselves, meaning that they will know how to connect their cosmic energy, which can be sweeping, passionate, and inspired, to earth reality. It is important that they grow the patience to channel their soul energy to the energetic reality of this planet. Also, it is vital that they have patience with those parts of humanity and society that are walking behind and that are not yet able to grasp the wisdom they offer, or that even interpret their behavior as obstinacy and rebelliousness. And there's probably a lot of beings that follow me that feel that you fit into that category as well. I know I do. I wouldn't have classified it as that when I was a kid, but I do now. A collision is taking place here between the old and the new that may cause problems. The energy of the new children will often be misinterpreted by people who are part of the old mentality, which says that discipline, order, and obedience are the prerequisites for the full development of the child's abilities and personality. Now, you are actually the ones who stand in between the old and the new here and who are able to build a bridge. You have suffered because you had to control and keep inside much of your true spiritual energy. You know what it is like to feel blocked in your self-expression. You, therefore, understand the new children quite well, and you understand their need to break free from rules based on authority and oppression of the feelings. These children need to have room for self exploration and individuality, and at the same time, they need to understand the value of loving discipline as opposed to authoritative discipline. They have to learn how to channel and manage their energy without repressing themselves. This is precisely the issue that you are dealing with yourselves on your own inner road. For all of you, it is vitally important that you are able to channel your cosmic energy, your inner spark of light, through your body into earth reality. In particular, it means that you have to deal with the emotions that block you from truly being present in the here and now and from expressing yourself into material reality. It is one of the biggest issues for lightworker souls. They're, quote, complex, so to speak, that they carry a lot of spiritual energy on the upper side of their energy field, their shoulders and head, which stagnates and cannot find its way down. The energy cannot properly connect to the earth, which is another way of saying that you keep your energy inside and that you feel unable to express yourself satisfactorily. This can be the case either in your private relationships or in your working environment where you might feel less fulfilled and creative than you could be. All of this has to do with not being completely grounded. And the reason why the energy cannot go down and incarnate fully is that there are emotional traumas located in the area of the belly which block or interrupt the flow. And I find that so interesting to come across this again now when I just said to Chris J that I need her to do a BQH session for me about my solar plexus area. Therefore, it is of great importance to focus your attention and awareness on these parts of you that are in need of emotional healing. And for some reason, I'm hearing, I know that I'm by myself, but someone somewhere is going to hear what I just said and ask, what is BQH and how is she going to help you do that? Well, BQH is beyond quantum healing. It is a type of regression that both she and I do. And it's a way to have another being assist you in getting into a very meditative state and then ask you questions for you to answer. And I highly recommend it. It is something that we both do, and the ways to reach us can be found at www.knewlightstreaminglove, and that's KNEW, just like the channel here. It is vital that you acquire a fully embodied, grounded spirituality and that you do not keep this energy locked into the upper part of your auric field. And I'm getting a feeling right now that that is part of the heaviness that I've been feeling, that it's still locked up there, that there's something in my energy centers that blocks it from fully coming down, because I'm feeling it even right now. It blocks and it gets stopped right about here. And what is so interesting about all of that is this is an area of my physical body that I have a lot of issues with. I had a gastric bypass. I had an abdominal hernia situation that 10 years later festered and came open, which is part of the reason I had 20 surgeries. And there is quite a lot of energetic, what feels to me stop. It's a stopgap, right? So she's going to help me look into that. So I'm going to read this again. It is vital that you acquire a fully embodied, grounded spirituality, and that you do not keep this energy locked into the upper part of your auric field. In such a fashion, this energy can cause a naive and imbalanced form of spirituality, which may give you ecstatic feelings and great enthusiasm every now and then, but which lacks the quote body to really connect to earth and manifest itself outwardly as a satisfying job, a stable, loving relationship, and or material abundance. So, and since I do feel that strongly and heavily, I really want to look into that. And if you'll pardon me for a minute, it's not going to look uh, like anything to you guys really, but I have to take a pause for the cause just real quick. And I'm just going to pause this, and it won't look like anything to you, but so 1 second. Okay, so I had to pause to get a package off the front porch. Now, back to it here. The spiritual energy must connect to the emotional body and from there on to physical reality. What blocks the flow are old wounds, emotions such as fear and anger, feelings of inferiority, disappointment, and bitterness about life. These are the emotional hurdles you bump up against, and I tell you that dealing with these basic emotional issues is the key to finding ways of supporting the new children. Your emotional healing will provide you with the means to help the children ground themselves in a loving yet disciplined way. For by steadily addressing these issues, you will set out an energetic trail for them. What does emotional healing mean? I would like to speak of this again, although it has been dealt with more thoroughly in earlier channelings. And in parentheses here, see dealing with emotions especially. You have all known times in which the emotions were repressed and considered more or less taboo. Especially the older ones among you grew up in a generation where this was standard. In the 60s, a counter reaction followed, and the emotions were set free, sometimes to the other extreme of exaltation. Emotions were put above reason. And boy, I'm telling you, at this moment of now, it seems to me like that is at a fever pitch on the world stage if one thinks about what's been going on here in 2024 from 2006 when this is, when around this could have been channeled, right? To now. Emotions were put above reason. Rationality had to be set aside temporarily to freely investigate and transgress boundaries of tradition. And it was fruitful to do so for a while. But the free exploration of suppressed emotional energies also has some pitfalls to it and letting one does not transform and heal the emotions by giving free rein to them and letting them control you. Pardon me. The essence of spiritual freedom is that one acknowledges all emotions and allows them to be there, while at the same time remaining fully conscious. For example, embracing them with your own angelic consciousness. The unsolved emotional energies within you are like small children, confused, sad, or frightened, coming to you for comfort. By you, I mean to the angel in you, your higher self. In this manner, your higher angelic self descends into your own emotional body to do the healing work that is your mission. And when you do so, your light flows downward through the lower energy centers or chakras, through your arms and legs, and out into the world. This is what it means to ground your angelic or soul energy. It is a process that requires self discipline. I use the word discipline to point out that this does not happen automatically. The process of self healing requires a steady and honest focus on your inner life and a willingness to face up to all the emotions inside. It is about acknowledging them as yours, taking responsibility for them, and not feeling a victim of the past or of other people or society. No, you are the angel who has absorbed these emotions and who has the power to transform them. That is the reason you came to Earth, to transform your fear and sadness into love, forgiveness, and understanding. By doing so, you will create for yourself a life of joy and fulfillment, and you will be at peace with the reality of Earth. And thus, you set out an energetic trail for the new children who are and have been arriving. They come in with a higher energy thanks to your pioneering work, but without the assurance that this energy will find firm ground to stand on. To prepare such ground, all of us, society at large, will have to open up to the new and different aspects of these children. We need to welcome them and allow them to express their energy freely, and at the same time teach them to develop the focus and patience to channel their energy to the reality of Earth. They need to express their soul energy, their cosmic inspiration in material forms that belong to Earth. So they must feel able to express themselves emotionally, mentally, creatively, and spiritually in language, communication, and organization. It is important that they feel invited to bring their energy into this reality, even if it means they have to go through internal or external resistance and difficulties. The message of the new children, their clear crystal energy, can only land on fertile ground when we help them establish a loving connection to Earth. With regard to this aspect, you yourselves are going through a fundamental transformation process in which the emotional body is the key. You are all in the process of taking responsibility for your deepest emotions and gradually releasing them in the light of your own angelic consciousness. Your angel self has compassion for the deep fear and gloominess you can experience in this earthly realm. It belongs to the essence of the Christ energy that it descends to the earthly realm. Nope, sorry. Pardon me. I have to back that up. You are all in the process of taking responsibility for your deepest emotions and gradually releasing them in the light of your own angelic consciousness. Your angel self has compassion for the deep fear and gloominess you can experience in this earthly realm. It belongs to the essence of the Christ energy that it descends to the lowest point where darkness seems all around and makes light's presence known. It is no great feat to spread light in a cosmic realm of love and safety. The true power of the Christ energy is that it pierces through the darkest cells, that it brings love where hopelessness abounds. On earth, a planet so lovely and rich, and yet so removed from oneness and love, the Christ energy prepares a seed bed and opens up new vistas. You all are sprouts of this seed and pioneers of a new era. Even if your road seems difficult and heavy, you all have accomplished a great deal, and by your own inner changes have helped open the gates for the new wave of light energy now pouring down on Earth. Even now, it will not be easy. Even now, a lot of darkness is coming to the surface. Abuse of power, fear, old energy. Therefore, I ask you to keep faith in your mission, to bring the light of your sprouted Christ energy to your own inner darkness. The children of the new era will be grateful to you. They need you, but they also will give you something in return. They carry happiness in their hearts, a delightful freshness, and a living remembrance of home. They shine with joy and love like a budding flower full of promise. This energy can open your heart and stir a sense of playfulness and lightheartedness in you. All of you who feel old and worn out, who have gone through a lot, reach out your hands to the newcomers. They need your support and experience, and they will bring love and merriment into your lives. This is a process that touches you all. Whether you're dealing with children directly or not, it touches you all. I would like to conclude with a moment of silence in which I ask you to connect to the earth. The earth itself is an intelligence, a being with a soul who is looking forward to the arrival of the new children. She is smiling to herself when she looks at you. For when you arrived here in another time, you were such beautiful children too. You were the pioneers and the mediators. Feel the gratefulness of the earth to you. You are so tied in with this huge process. Then feel the arrival of the new children, full of anticipation and inspiration. They are also here to help you. Their liveliness and wisdom will cheer you up and remind you that the new age is dawning, that the longest mile is indeed the last mile home, and that the flowers of love and peace will truly blossom. Wow. Well, that's it for that chapter. And then I'll be back with the final chapter. And I hope that you will continue to move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It is but a matter of perspective and your perception of that perspective. And so until we meet again, be well, my friends.